Hi, thanks for joining the show today. One of my guests is Cindy Ayers. I met her while on tour last year for the Don't Wait Project during my stop in Jackson, Mississippi. She is the founder and amazing woman behind Footprint Farms. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Great to see you. It's been a long time. So we gotten back in touch recently, and I just wanted to have you on the show and chat a little bit about how you're doing, what you're doing, but tell people a little bit about Footprint Farms.
Well, thank you, Lisa, and thank you for allowing me to speak to your community. First of all, I'm Cindy Ayers, and I'm a farmer right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Footprint Farms is a 68-acre full urban farm where we actually grow a lot of veggies. We also have horses and goats in our fields and pastures. We're excited about what we do. A big part of doing this is to help bring access to food deserts and people in the community that actually don't have access to healthy foods. And part of our mission here at Footprint is to help eliminate that, to make it accessible by growing right here in the community where we are and doing different ways for getting food to people. And in this pandemic, it's really allowed us to look even further outside of our area to see what we could do, how we do this in order to truly continue to make a difference, and how we can add some more services to what we do. So we're excited about it. We're employing people in the community. We are training in the community people, new farmers, and people who just want to garden or just want to grow some food for themselves and understand how. So that's pretty much what we do. And Lisa gave me the platform to be able to get some of this information out. So thank you so much for what you do and what you've done for us here at Footprint.
Well, thank you. We stayed on your farm for a few days during the tour, and I got to plant some lettuce, and I've never really planted much in my life, and you inspired me to have a garden this year. I wasn't going to be able to do it because I was supposed to be on tour, so when the tour was canceled till next year due to COVID, I thought, okay, I'm going to plant that garden. And so I started with the seedlings that were not very successful. They did great in my dining room, but then I had to transition them in and out of the garage. So I ended up with planters, starters. And I think about you almost every evening when I go out to the backyard to pluck the lettuce for our salad. There's nothing really more rewarding than going to your backyard and getting your own food.
Absolutely. And great tasting and healthy all in one. And I'm proud of you. I knew you had that farm girl in you.
Well, when you come visit, when all this lifts, I'll make you a big, delicious salad.
Great.
So let's talk about, first of all, I wanted to share, remind people of the work you do in bringing farmers the dollar for the lease of the land if they want to work that land. Tell about that program.
Well, that program, we actually call it Meet One, Teach One. And what it is, we allow you to come in and do two things on the farm. One is to come to learn how. And once you come in and you really show you want to learn how and be a part of the Footprint Farms family, we actually will lease for $1 to you an acre or half-acre land, depending on your attitude about what you want to do and how fast you want to grow. So in doing this, we actually do everything under our umbrella. What we do for you, though, is whatever you decide you want to grow after we go through the plan, so you can understand the planning stages of what it takes actually to do a farm, and if you're going to grow on the farm, this is part of what goes into our market for sale. So we show you all the aspect of it. So you're learning how to grow, you're learning how to pack it, you learn the safety of it, because that's one of the most important parts of when you're working with food is going to other people. You want to make sure that what you're doing is safe as possible. So for us, even before COVID-19 came about, we were practicing safe foods, which is good agriculture practices here on the farm. But when you come on board, you actually have your tunnel, and we go through the process to show you how to utilize the programs that's available for you under USDA. So in one whiff, you get all of this, and you get to put your name in for acquiring a tunnel for you, a high tunnel, which is usually 30 by 72 in space, so you'll be able to grow year round. But until then, you actually have this acre of land, and we teach you how to farm using the best practices possible for what we're growing. In this case, when Lisa was here, we were growing lettuce because we do seasonal. So we grow what's happening during the season. So in the fall area time frame is a cold season. So for Mississippi, even cold. For us, if it gets below 30 degrees, it's freezing. And we're froze doing that. So we look at the time and the space and the time, but you actually come in and 75% of everything you grow stays with you. So this is how you start earning your income. Meanwhile, for that 1 acre, for that $1, you get access to everything we have, from the equipment to the knowledge to other people working to work with you. But you have to do the same. When we're planting one, we're planting all. When we're harvesting one, we're harvesting all. So we do this together for our labor, which helps us on the farm keep our costs down. But it also means that you have a vested interest in the farm by producing the best possible, because the more you produce, the more money you make. And we don't limit you for that. We give you every opportunity to rotate your crops. If we're growing this month, next month we're growing something else. So when you finish your cycle of life for your lettuce, then you go to the next crop that would fit you, that someone else might have been growing, but now you're growing. And so this way we get a good balance of having access and having a volume of food, a variety of foods to put into our CSA boxes, which is our end user. So it works perfectly for all of us. It's a win-win.
It's such a good idea and has obviously made such a difference. So I love your farm. I love your truck, the pink truck with the wrap, and I've seen all your pictures on social media and all the communities that you're reaching. Tell us about the documentary that was done about Footprint Farms.
Yes, well, this just came out this month, the month of June. It's called Fertile Ground, and this is part of a grant that was brought in by the city of Jackson with Bloomberg. So Bloomberg, former Mayor Bloomberg, actually selected 12 cities throughout the country to actually put money in as it relates to food and art, or art as food, to do that impact for urban communities. And we were one of the ones selected. And part of this, doing the profile, we actually assist our city in some information to what we could do and how we could work with getting the word out more and showing what the need is for urban growing and for people in general to learn how to grow, and taking small spaces that we have and utilizing it. If it's off the tax records, let's work to put them back on. But until then, let's let the community learn how to take care of it. And so it won't become a vacant lot, just vacant, but actually do some things with it that makes a difference in lives. So we were part of this, and our farm was the farm that was featured pretty much in the documentary about fertile ground and the need for food and access to food, which is, you know, very interesting, since we did this last year, long before we knew about, COVID-19, and just talking about what would happen.
Where can people watch the documentary?
They can. Right now, it's as public broadcasting, is Mississippi Public Broadcasting, but it's any part you can go to and just put in Fertile Ground, Jackson, Mississippi, and it would come up. We do have it also on our website and on our Facebook page. If you go into Footprint Farms, you can actually pull up and see it. And just put in farm in Jackson, Mississippi, it'll come up.
Well, I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad to have met you. I love that you're on your farm right now. You just came inside from working, and I love that I've seen your farm, worked at your farm, met your farmers and yourself. And so it's just some of the fondest memories from the tour last year. So we'll see you in Wenatchee someday. I'm going to show you our beautiful place of the world. And
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it and to see you. And to meet that wonderful son of yours, because I heard so much, I feel like I know him. But, right now it's a kinship that we met, and our lives will never be the same because your ambition and your thought pattern and your caring and that big heart you have makes it easy to continue great friendships, but to know that what you're doing is making major difference in lives. And for that, you can count me in anytime.
Well, ditto to you as well. Thank you so much, Cindy. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
My next guest is Erica Moshe. You may know her as the founder of the Brave Warrior Project. She's one of those people I've wanted to meet for a long time that I hear about in our community and the amazing work she's doing. So I'm excited to share her story with you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us, Lisa.
So you are one of those people that I've been hearing about in our circle of friends or colleagues that are saying you have to meet Erica. So I'm glad to finally get to do that.
We're excited to be here.
So tell us a little bit about the Brave Warrior Project and how it started, why you founded it. It's a passion project for you that's grown into something really remarkable.
Yeah, so we started this foundation, this organization, due to the need in our area. I have a background in oncology nursing, and I had the pleasure of taking care of some kiddos in our valley that have had cancer, and then we've had personal experience with pediatric cancer in our family, and we saw a need, and we did some fundraisers prior to our nonprofit status, and it just became a year after year reoccurrence. And then I have a child that is severely impacted by autism, and with talking with the parents, they're two different diagnoses, but some of the barriers are similar: traveling hours to therapies, to hospitals, spending time, weeks in different areas. And so with those conversations, we just realized, living in a rural community, that there were significant barriers for children that had disability, chronic illness, or cancer. And we, within our conversations, really just wanted to focus on how can we eliminate some of those barriers. You know, some people, some families that had children with some of these diagnoses had warrior fundraising teams that were able to fundraise thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars for these kids. And then there were kids that had no fundraisers that would reach out and, you know, be in significant need. And so we really wanted to close that gap and really make everything accessible to all of our local children. And so that's kind of how the short version of how the Brave Warrior Project got started.
When you think about living here and the quality of life of living here and not being, you know, for some people, they don't want to live in a city full time with access to some of the things that they might need. So you're trying to bridge that gap between living where you want to live, but getting the services that your children deserve and need.
Exactly. So my son, diagnosed with autism, he was diagnosed when he was, I believe, about 5 years old. And Seattle Children's actually had a phone conversation with us, telling us that if we wanted him to receive the services that he needed to gain more activities of daily living, more functional skills to be in society, we would need to move to Seattle or a larger city that had the therapies that he needed. And at that time, there were very few, and the few therapies that we had in our area, there were years wait list. I mean, you had to wait 1-2 years to get into these therapy services. And so that's another motivating factor for us. My family and friends are all here. We didn't want to move, and we were set to move, but we just decided to take on this venture of how can we get it here. And so we've focused really hard over the last several years to bring a lot of these services to our valley and open up services to children that fall within this mission, while helping children that still need to be over at Seattle Children's with like chronic illness or cancer. So.
And that's I believe completely in the power of mamas. If a mom has a need, she'll figure out how to fill it, especially for her child. So that's the beautiful work that I think gets done in the world. When COVID came about, and you know, you were thriving, you were able to meet a lot of needs for a lot of people, children and families in the valley. How has COVID impacted your ability to help?
Yeah, so COVID, I mean, I think it's impacted all of us in a way, and I don't think we'll all ever be the same again. But so the Brave Warrior Project was set to have probably its most successful, biggest year in helping families, and also just really getting out to our community, our mission and what we're doing and the impact we're making. Just if you're a numbers person, in 2017, I think we served 90 families and children with our program. 2018, we had served about 180 180, and last year we served over 500. We did open a center in June, and that's probably been the biggest impact that COVID has had. We do a lot of social events, a lot of providing social opportunity for kids, and we had to close our doors given COVID, and we are just starting to reopen and regroup about how we can serve the children in our community and families in our community. And given COVID, a lot of our grants were put on hold. A lot of the grants had closed their applications just to reprocess and regroup to see how they're going to be able to serve. So we were unable to get some of the funding that we were anticipating. So we're getting creative there as well.
I think about how people are, organizations like your own and some other really valuable organizations that help people in those parents that are trying to navigate the different things that their children are enduring. And I've thought about it so many times, like the kids don't understand, how come I don't get to go to that group, or how come I don't get to ride that horse, other things that happen in our community that support these kids. And then I think about the parents that I've been in some classroom settings where there's a para one-to-one with a child all day. And to lose that, how do you, as a family, as a parent, as, you know, someone in this community, I see the value in what you're doing, and I feel for those people who don't have that right now. So in thinking about how you will proceed, I know that you guys just did a fundraiser with Haley Van Lith that was successful. Tell us about that. She was doing a hoops thing for you, which is a good person to have on your side.
Yeah, she's amazing, as we all know. So Haley and I actually connected, and Jessica, her mother, connected prior to COVID, and we talked about how we can help bring sports to our area for children with special needs, chronic illness, and disability. And we came up with Haley's Hoopers, and that was going to be a one-day basketball camp, and then we were going to have an auction to help offset some of the costs for some of the barriers with the sports programs. And unfortunately COVID hit, and so we had to reorganize and redesign that, which we're hoping we'll be able to continue next year. But what we did instead of the Haley's Hoopers, to just kind of make up for some of that, because kids were very excited, we were able to purchase some basketball hoops and give those to some families to get their kids out of the house and able to get active and get some of that energy out. And so that was super exciting. And we did a Give 5, Shoot 5 campaign with Haley, and we raised, I think, just a little under $2,000 with that campaign. So it was very exciting, and we're excited to continue it yearly with Haley and her family.
Well, I was able to see some of the things that were being done on social media. It looked like a lot of fun. You have a fundraiser coming up now, you're about to launch, that is going to further fund your efforts for the Brave Warrior Project. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so given COVID, one of the things that we really believe is ensuring that we're meeting the needs of the community, of our local children that fall within our mission. And so we sent out a survey when COVID hit to find out what those needs are. And one of the biggest needs was respite. Our families, school provided some respite for families, and they were able to work. And so respite was kind of the big thing, which is one of the ways that we were going to be going. We were hoping to launch next year, but given COVID, we decided to regroup and see if we could maybe launch that a little bit sooner to provide those hours to families in desperate need right now, and to the children to have some sort of social time with peers and outside of their home. And so we're getting ready to launch our Wenatchee's first that we know of respite program, center-based respite program. We've put a lot of time and energy into this, and we have had some community partnerships with this program, and we're super excited to get that going to the families, and hopefully it'll be launching here in the near future. It's really close. We just want to make sure that everything is perfect when we do launch, so it's the best environment for the kids and families.
If people want more information about the Brave Warrior Project, I see you on Instagram. You have a website as well, so they can get more information about how to help, but also the services that you provide. So I just encourage everyone who's watching to reach out, and if you want to figure out how to be of help in our community, this is one way. There's a lot of needs in our community, but this is all you can do is ask for the support, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we've been blessed by our community so far, so we know that we will continue to be so.
Well, thank you so much, Erica, for being here. I really appreciate your story. I'm glad we finally met.
Yes, thank you, Lisa.
See more of you once all of this distancing is done.
Yes, and thank you for having us and letting us share our story.
Yes, thank you for being here. Have a great rest of your day.
You as well.
Hi, so now we're going to talk with my friend Wendy Moten. I met her last year on the Don't Wait Project tour when I was in Nashville. She happened to be performing for her first time at the Grand Ole Opry. My friends and I ran into her at the famous bar afterward, and we've been friends ever since. Thanks for being here, Wendy, again.
Hey, Lisa, thank you. Thank you for inviting me again. I got somebody with me this time.
Got David here now. Hi, David.
David Santos. We've been together 25 years.
It's amazing. Well, when we were talking last time when you were on the show, you were talking about how David had decided to take up piano, so we were able to include that video. And then I'm like, let's have a revisit because you were on earlier in the season, just as an update. And I thought we'd have David on too. So thanks for being here, David.
Oh, you're welcome.
How are you guys doing? We were chatting a little bit before we started recording about how you haven't performed much of anything in a while.
No, not at all. We both are touring musicians. I've toured with Julio Iglesias and Vince Gill and Martina McBride, Tim McGraw, and Faith Hill. He's touring with Billy Joel and Crosby, Stills and Nash, John Fogerty, and currently Melissa Etheridge. And we've just been enjoying being at home together, honestly.
Well, when I talked to you the other day, I said, I know you were really looking forward to kind of slowing down and being home. And I said, it's been almost 3 months now. You're still enjoying it. And you are. So that's good. So David, talk about piano. So you're a musician, so you played other instruments, but you hadn't mastered the piano?
Yeah, I'm a bass player. And I play guitar too. So, and I've played the piano a little bit over the years, but never really got it together. And here we're off. I got 3 months, so I bought a bunch of books, and I've just got them all sitting around here. They're just sitting around, and I pick them up and read as much as I can through them, and I put myself through my own course, the David Santos piano course.
Well, it definitely must help that you have some musical experience. Obviously, you're not just opening a book of notes for the first time ever.
Right. Yes, I put everything that I know into my piano playing now.
So do you guys like sit around and perform together at home, or is that the furthest thing from your mind?
No,
It's the furthest thing from my mind. I know that he would like to do that all the time.
I like to play, but she doesn't like
I don't want to do it. I'm not working.
You're on vacation.
She wants to relax.
I want to relax. And he's like, I've never met anybody that goes to bed at 8 in the morning and wake up at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm like, me, when am I going to ever have this chance again?
Well, you must be somewhat accustomed to that late night performance, needing to kind of chill out, settle down, and not go right to bed at midnight or something. Is that true?
I'm nocturnal. He still, even on a touring schedule, will go to bed at 11 p.m., and wake up early in the morning, have breakfast, do a walk. He has his routine. I like to just, rest until it's time for me to get up.
Yeah, and I understand. She's been on the road a long time.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah, so can we say again how old you are? Because it's so mind-blowing, Wendy.
55. 55. And he's
crazy.
62.
62.
Wow.
I'll be 63 in December.
Well, whatever you're doing is working. So
sleeping.
If you want to sleep from 8 to 4 or 8 to 8, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to you guys, and you guys can play together. We got Wendy. We talked Wendy into singing, right, David? So,
yeah, we've talked her into. I mean, I don't know this song, so I'm not a great piano player. I'm just going to do the best I can.
We'll do a little bit.
Just to show you that I'm practicing.
Yeah, that's the whole point. So people who wanted to write a book during this downtime, or learn an instrument, or volunteer, let's see, what have you done so far? David's learned to play the piano. So that's the whole point of this. Doesn't matter if you're perfect, right?
Perfect.
Okay, so you guys are good. I'm going to hand it all over to you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you.
Not too fast.
Tell us what you're going to do. There you go.
Oh, we're going to do a little jazz song called All of Me, just a little bit.
So.
All of me, while I take all of me, once was my heart soul. Why not take all? Why not take all? So why not take all I
That was so good. I'm so glad we talked you into singing with him. Thank you guys so much. I hope you made everyone's day who watched.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See you.
See ya.